Only the chosen have these 7 hidden marks. Do you have them? Many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew 22:14. Have you ever felt like you were different, as if you were meant for something greater? There are hidden signs that only the chosen possess, marks that set them apart on their spiritual journey. In today's video on spiritual wisdom, we'll uncover these 7 hidden marks and what they reveal about your divine path. Could you be one of the chosen? Watch closely, and as you listen, reflect on your own life. Do these signs resonate with you? Let us know in the comments which of these marks you recognize within yourself. And if this message speaks to you, don't forget to like and share it with others who might need this insight. Let's dive in. 1. The seal of God. This mark is not something that can be earned through effort, purchased with wealth, or imitated by mere will. It is not given by human hands, nor can it be taken away by worldly forces. This mark is placed upon the chosen by God Himself. It is the divine seal of God. Do not grieve the Holy Spirit of God, with whom you were sealed for the day of redemption. Ephesians 4:30. Unlike a physical mark that the eyes can see, the seal of God is an invisible yet undeniable imprint on the soul. It is the confirmation that an individual has been set apart, chosen for a purpose far beyond the ordinary, carrying an eternal identity that no power on earth can erase. This seal signifies spiritual awakening, a divine calling, and a connection to something far greater than oneself. Those who bear this mark do not walk the common path. Their journey is different because they have been chosen to rise above illusions, to see through the veils of deception, and to embrace a higher purpose. They move with a deep inner knowing, an unshakable faith that guides them even in the darkest times. Their spirit radiates peace, wisdom, and a profound love that surpasses understanding. This is the mark of those who belong to God. What distinguishes the chosen is not mere belief, but transformation. The seal of God does not just identify, it changes. Those who receive it undergo an inner renewal, a spiritual awakening that shifts their perception of reality. They are no longer bound by fear, doubt, or the constraints of the material world. Instead, they move with the confidence of those who know they are led by divine power. This mark manifests in ways that the world may not always recognize, but those who are spiritually attuned will see the signs. It is in the way they carry themselves with grace, even in the face of adversity. It is in the way they love without conditions, forgive without hesitation, and stand firm in truth, even when surrounded by opposition. They are vessels of divine energy, bringing light to places where darkness once reigned. To be chosen is not a matter of privilege, but of purpose. Those who bear the seal of God are called to be examples, to lead, to inspire, and to uplift. They are given wisdom to see beyond illusions, strength to endure trials, and a heart that beats in harmony with divine will. They understand that their journey is not just for themselves, but for the greater good, to be a reflection of God's love in a world that often forgets. So, if you have ever felt different, as if you were being prepared for something greater, if you have experienced an awakening that makes you see life through a new lens, then perhaps you carry this mark. Perhaps you have been chosen to step into your true calling, to embrace the divine path laid before you. Do you believe you are spiritually marked by God as one of the chosen? If yes, comment yes. If not, comment no. If you're still seeking clarity, Comment, still seeking. 2. A transformed heart. A transformed heart is most undeniable sign of those chosen by God. Without it, nothing else matters. A person may have vast knowledge of Scripture, be deeply involved in religious activities, and even appear righteous in the eyes of others. But if their heart remains unchanged, they do not truly belong to God. The Word of God is clear. He does not look at outward appearances. He looks at the heart. As Ezekiel 36:26 declares, "I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh." This transformation is not about superficial changes or religious performances. It is about a complete renewal, a reawakening of the soul that alters a person from the inside out. Consider Saul, a man who was zealous in his religious pursuits, yet his heart was hardened against God's truth. He was relentless in persecuting Christians, believing he was serving righteousness. But everything changed when he encountered Jesus on the road to Damascus. In that moment, his heart was shattered and remade, and he emerged as Paul, one of the most powerful messengers of the gospel. This is what happens to the chosen. They do not remain the same. When God transforms a heart, everything about a person shifts: how they love, how they speak, how they think, and even how they perceive wealth and success. The pursuit of money and status might have been the driving force in life. But when the heart is renewed, these things lose their grip. The chosen see riches not as their source of security, but as fleeting, temporary resources that hold no eternal value. True wealth is not found in material possessions, but in the treasures stored up in heaven. This is why so many people, despite achieving great financial success, still feel empty. They chase after wealth, thinking it will bring fulfillment, yet they remain restless. A heart without God will always feel an unquenchable void, but a heart transformed by Him is rich beyond measure, regardless of earthly possessions. When God renews a person's heart, their desires change. They no longer seek to glorify themselves, but to glorify Him. They are no longer driven by greed, but by a deep sense of purpose. Their worth is not measured by what they own, but by whom they belong to. The chosen understand this truth. They know that their identity is not defined by status, money, or achievements, but by the fact that they are children of the Most High. They have been redeemed at a great price, the blood of Jesus, and because of this, they no longer live for themselves, but for the one who saved them. But here is something crucial to recognize. Not everyone who claims to follow God has experienced this transformation. Many profess faith, yet their hearts remain unchanged. They continue to chase the same things the world values, prioritizing wealth over faith and comfort over sacrifice. The chosen are different. They see through the deception of temporary pleasures and pursue what is eternal. So, ask yourself, has your heart been transformed? Have you surrendered to God in a way that changes everything about you? Or are you still clinging to old patterns, old desires, and the empty promises of the world? The first mark of the chosen is a heart that no longer belongs to itself, but has been broken, reshaped, and renewed by God's love. And when that happens, nothing remains the same. Have you ever felt your heart shift, realizing true faith is about transformation, not just rituals? If so, comment, "Yes, you're not alone." Let's embrace this journey together and awaken a heart renewed with purpose and deeper faith. 3. An unwavering love for truth. An unwavering love for the truth is one of the clearest signs that someone is truly chosen. There is a stark contrast between those who merely hear the truth and those who embrace it with unshakable conviction. Many profess their faith in God, but when confronted with hard truths that challenge their comfort, ambitions, and way of life, they retreat. The chosen, however, are different. They do not just acknowledge the truth. They seek it, hunger for it, and hold on to it even when it demands sacrifice. We are living in a time foretold in Scripture when people no longer endure sound doctrine, but instead surround themselves with teachers who say only what they want to hear. 2 Timothy 4:3. Messages of self-indulgence overshadow the call to surrender. Wealth is placed above wisdom. Luxury is valued more than holiness. The world preaches a love that tolerates all things, but true love, the love of God, does not just accept, it transforms. It refines, corrects, and calls for change. The chosen do not compromise on truth because they understand that truth is not merely a concept, it is a person. Jesus declared, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." John 14:6. To reject the truth is to reject Him. Think about the rich young ruler who approached Jesus seeking eternal life, convinced that he was already on the right path. But when Jesus told him to sell his possessions and follow Him, the young man walked away sorrowful. Why? Because he loved his wealth more than he loved the truth. He wanted salvation, but not at the cost of his comfort. He desired God, but not at the expense of his riches, luxury, and status. In the end, he chose the temporary over the eternal. The chosen are not like this. When they hear the truth, they do not shrink back. When God calls them to let go of something, they obey. They understand that wealth and possessions are not evil in themselves, but when they take precedence over God, they become chains that bind the soul. Have you ever noticed how some people accept God only as long as He does not interfere with their ambitions, financial pursuits, or desire for control? The chosen are different. They do not seek truth for convenience, but for transformation. They are willing to let go of anything that stands between them and God, even if it costs them their riches, reputation, or relationships. Paul warned in 2 Timothy 4:3 that people would reject sound doctrine and instead gather teachers who tell them what they want to hear. Today, many prefer motivational speeches over biblical truth, prosperity over holiness, comfort over conviction. But the chosen recognize that true love does not withhold hard truths. It speaks to them even when they are uncomfortable. The truth has power. It exposes darkness, shatters deception, and sets people free. But not everyone wants to be free. Some prefer the illusion of security, the comfort of half-truths, and the deception that they can serve both God and wealth without consequence. Yet Jesus made it clear, no one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Matthew 6:24. Does this mean that God opposes wealth? Number Abraham was wealthy. Job was restored to greater prosperity after his trials. Solomon was granted wisdom and riches beyond measure. But the difference is that these men did not serve their wealth. They served God. They understood that riches are a tool, not a God. Luxury is temporary, but truth is eternal. The chosen do not measure their lives by their financial success, but by their obedience to God. They do not ask, "How much can I gain?" but how much can I surrender? They are willing to walk away from anything that competes with their devotion to Christ. So, what about you? Do you love the truth enough to let it change you? Or do you only embrace it when it aligns with your desires? Have you ever found yourself resisting God because His truth demands something difficult? This is the mark of the chosen. They do not bend the truth to fit their lives. They bend their lives to fit the truth. Because of this, they are unshakable. They cannot be deceived. They cannot be bought. And they will never trade eternal riches for temporary comfort. If you recognize these marks within yourself, you are among the chosen ones who walk the narrow path, who seek God above all else, and who embrace the spiritual wisdom that leads to true transformation. If this message resonates with you, don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue seeking truth and transformation together. 4. A desire for holiness. There is something unmistakable about those who are truly chosen by God. It is not merely their faith, their endurance through trials, or their understanding of Scripture. It is something deeper, an unshakable yearning for holiness. They do not just aspire to be good people. They strive to be set apart. Their hearts long for purity, for a life that reflects God's divine nature, regardless of how the world around them operates. The Bible makes this clear. But just as He who called you is holy, so be holy in all you do. For it is written, "Be holy, because I am holy." 1 Peter 1:15-16. This is not a mere suggestion. It is a divine command. Holiness is not optional for the chosen. It is their defining characteristic. Many assume that simply believing in God is enough, and that they can live however they please. But those who are truly chosen understand that faith without obedience is empty. Their pursuit of holiness is not motivated by fear of punishment, but by an overwhelming love for God. Their hearts are transformed, and this transformation reshapes everything: their thoughts, their words, their priorities, and even how they manage wealth, success, and relationships. Holiness does not mean retreating from the world, nor does it demand a life of poverty or rejection of success. Some of the most faithful figures in Scripture, Joseph, Daniel, and Abraham, were people of great influence, power, and prosperity. Yet, what set them apart was not their wealth, but their unwavering commitment to purity in the midst of a corrupt world. Take Joseph, for example. Betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and later elevated to a position of immense power in Egypt, he had access to all the riches and luxuries of the world. Yet, when faced with temptation, when Potiphar's wife attempted to seduce him, he did not hesitate. He fled. Why? Because he understood that no amount of power, pleasure, or earthly gain was worth compromising his holiness before God. This is the mark of the chosen. They guard their hearts diligently. They do not flirt with sin or test the limits of how close they can get to wrongdoing without falling. Instead, they walk in purity not because they must, but because they genuinely desire to. If you find yourself resonating with these signs, then you may be among the chosen. But being chosen is not about status. It is about responsibility. It is about stepping into a life of faith, obedience, and unwavering commitment to God's ways. Spiritual awakening is not a one-time event. It is a continuous journey of transformation. It is a calling to rise above the distractions of the world and live with purpose, purity, and devotion. The chosen do not just believe, they live their faith. and through their lives, they become a light in the darkness, reflecting the holiness of the one who called them. Comment below, "I desire holiness," and let us walk this journey together, seeking transformation and embracing the divine call to live a holy life. 5. The fruit of the Spirit. By their fruit you will recognize them. Matthew 7:16. The chosen are not identified by external success, material wealth, or social status, but by the unmistakable evidence of their spiritual awakening. This evidence is not something that can be forced or faked. It flows naturally from a heart aligned with the divine. It is seen in the way they love without condition, in the joy that remains unshaken by circumstances, in the peace they carry, even in the face of turmoil. It is found in the patience that endures trials without complaint, in the kindness that expects nothing in return, in the goodness that seeks to uplift others. It is present in the faithfulness that remains steadfast through storms, in the gentleness that calms even the most troubled souls, and in the self-control that resists the pull of destructive impulses. These are the marks of the chosen, outlined in Galatians 5:22-23. Consider this: an apple tree does not need to convince the world that it is an apple tree. It does not need to debate, argue, or defend its identity. It simply bears apples, and through its fruit, its nature is known. Likewise, those who are truly chosen do not need to wear labels, seek validation, or prove themselves through words. Their actions, their character, and the way they carry themselves reveal the truth. The presence of the Spirit within them is undeniable, for it shapes their thoughts, molds their actions, and transforms their very essence. The world is filled with voices, each claiming to possess the truth. Many wear the outward appearance of devotion, yet lack the substance of genuine transformation. But the chosen are different. They do not strive to be noticed, for they understand that their impact is not in self-promotion, but in the quiet, consistent manifestation of the divine within them. Their love is not selective. Their joy is not dependent on external circumstances, and their peace does not waver in the face of adversity. They do not demand recognition, because their very existence is proof enough. To bear the fruit of the Spirit is to walk in alignment with divine will, to reflect the nature of the Creator, and to be a light in a world that so desperately seeks authenticity. It is not about striving to appear spiritual. It is about becoming spiritual in the deepest sense, allowing the Spirit to shape every thought, word, and action. And when this transformation takes place, the chosen do not need to seek acknowledgement. Their fruit speaks for them, declaring to the world that they are indeed set apart, divinely guided, and unmistakably chosen. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue growing in the fruit of the Spirit together. 6. A life of powerful prayer. There is something profound about those who are truly chosen by God. They are not just people of faith, they are people of deep spiritual connection, individuals who carry an unseen power within them. And what sets them apart? It's their unwavering commitment to prayer, not just any prayer, but prayer that moves mountains, shifts atmospheres, and aligns their soul with divine purpose. The chosen ones do not see prayer as a ritual or a mere obligation. For them, prayer is not just a habit. It is a way of being. It is the bridge between the physical and the spiritual, the force that connects them to the boundless wisdom and power of God. As the Bible says, pray without ceasing. 1 Thessalonians 5:17. But what does that truly mean? Does it require hours spent in solitude, repeating the same words over and over? Number, it means walking in continuous awareness of God's presence, maintaining a spiritual dialogue that never fades. It is not just about speaking to God. It is about listening, feeling, and knowing that He is always with you. This is one of the hidden marks of the chosen. They carry an unshakable spiritual connection, an inner peace that surpasses all understanding. They trust in divine timing and never act out of fear. Instead, they move with certainty, guided by an unseen hand, because they understand the power of surrender. As C.S. Lewis once said, relying on God has to begin all over again every day, as if nothing had yet been done. The chosen do not resist this truth. They embrace it, knowing that spiritual growth is a lifelong journey, not a destination. If you've made it this far, comment, "I'm aligned with God," below. Your engagement helps us grow this community of faith and prayer. 7. Perseverance through trials. There is an undeniable truth about those who are truly chosen. Their journey is never an easy one. They are refined through trials, tested in the fire, and shaped by adversity. Many people assume that walking with God should lead to immediate blessings, wealth, and comfort. But the reality painted in Scripture tells a different story, one where those truly called by God must endure suffering, opposition, and challenges that push their faith to its very limits. Jesus Himself made this clear when He told His disciples, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." John 16:33. He did not say, "You might have trouble." He said, "You will." This is a certainty, not a possibility. Hardship is not a punishment. It is a mark of spiritual awakening, a process of refinement that sets the chosen apart. Look at the life of Job, a man of immense wealth, prosperity, and respect. Yet, in a single devastating moment, he lost everything: his riches, his family, even his health. But what made Job truly chosen was not what he possessed. It was his unwavering faith in the face of loss. He refused to curse God. He refused to give in to despair. And because of his perseverance, God restored him, blessing him beyond what he had before. Job's story is a powerful reminder that trials are not meant to break the chosen, but to build them. Even today, trials come in many forms. Some face financial struggles. Others experience betrayal, rejection, or even persecution for their faith. The chosen do not escape hardship, but they endure it with steadfast faith. They understand that every struggle has a purpose. God uses challenges to separate the genuine from the counterfeit, to strengthen their faith, and to mold them into unshakable warriors of light. Some people only follow God when life is good. Their faith is strong when their bank account is full, their health is perfect, and everything is going their way. But when difficulties arise, they waver, question God, and sometimes walk away. This is the difference between the chosen and the unchosen. The chosen remain steadfast, not because their lives are easy, but because their faith is real. The Bible reminds us, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love Him." James 1:12. This is the ultimate promise. Trials are not the end of the story. They are the proving ground where the chosen are forged. where their trust in God deepens and where they are prepared for a greater purpose. Are you ready to embrace perseverance and prove the strength of your faith? If so, comment below. I will endure, to show your commitment to overcoming trials and growing stronger through them. In the journey of life, the chosen ones stand apart, not by luck, but by the depth of their spirit and the wisdom they carry. These 7 hidden marks are signs of an awakened soul, guiding you toward your higher purpose. If you recognize them in yourself, embrace your path with confidence, knowing that you are meant for something greater. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos filled with insights to elevate your journey. Stay blessed and keep growing.
You got secret admirers. They didn't want you to know. But our magnetism and self-love are intimidating. The greatest mystery is not who we admire, but who admires us in silence. Have you ever entered a room and felt an undeniable shift, like invisible eyes were drawn to your energy? Yet, when you look around, it seems as if nothing has changed. That's the power of magnetism. Your confidence and self-love radiate so brightly, it leaves people in awe. On today's journey with Spiritual Wisdom, we'll explore the fascinating world of secret admirers, their hidden feelings, and why your energy might be too dazzling for them to handle. What do you think? Have you ever sensed someone's admiration but couldn't quite pinpoint it? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's uncover the mystery together. One, magnetism, the silent command for attention. True magnetism isn't about loud words or flashy gestures. It's the quiet power that draws people in effortlessly, like a calm yet irresistible force of nature. It thrives not in noise, but in presence of your unspoken confidence, the way you carry yourself with ease and purpose, and the peace radiating from someone deeply in tune with their spiritual journey. This energy isn't just a facade. It's the result of self-love and spiritual awakening, a reflection of your alignment with your inner self. When you stand firmly in who you are, without the need to impress or seek approval, you emit a frequency that others can feel but not quite explain. This silent magnetism works like gravity, pulling people toward you without you lifting a finger. It's not arrogance, nor is it an attempt to overpower anyone. Rather, it's the assurance of someone who knows their worth and refuses to let external validation define them. People sense this, and it sparks a blend of admiration and intrigue, even in those who may never voice their feelings. Your presence becomes a mirror for others to confront their insecurities, which is why your self-assured energy can feel both captivating and intimidating to onlookers. For your admirers, this creates a fascinating tension. They're drawn to your aura, but unsure how to approach the calm yet commanding force that surrounds you. In modern life, where distractions and superficiality often dominate interactions, this level of magnetism is a rarity. It stands out precisely because it's not built on ego or bravado, but on authenticity and spiritual depth. This quiet power allows you to navigate life with a sense of balance, reminding others that fulfillment isn't about how much noise you make, but how well you align with your true self. In relationships, career, or even casual encounters, your magnetism inspires others to seek their own grounding. To cultivate and enhance this energy, focus on nurturing your self-love and spiritual awakening. Make time to connect with your inner voice, reflect on your purpose, and let go of the need to prove yourself. The more you embody self-awareness, the stronger your magnetism becomes. This isn't about impressing others, It's about being so rooted in your truth that others can't help but take notice. Embrace your unique presence as a gift, not only for yourself, but for those who cross your path and see in you a reminder of the power of authenticity. Secret admirers who feel drawn to your energy may never show it, but their silent infatuation is a testament to the power of living a life in harmony with one's spiritual nature. Comment below, "I choose to radiate positive energy." Let your charisma continue to radiate out into the world, acting as a silent command to attract attention, not through noise, but through the undeniable power of simply being yourself. 2. Admiration often lives in shadows. True admiration often thrives in silence, where it feels shielded from the vulnerabilities of exposure. These secret admirers aren't quiet because their feelings are insignificant, but because they're profoundly captivated by your energy and the way you carry yourself with a unique blend of confidence and authenticity. You have a magnetic presence that speaks of self-love and spiritual growth, a radiance that naturally draws people in. Yet, rather than stepping forward, they choose to stay in the background, afraid that their admiration might disrupt the image they've built of you. For them, you represent a kind of perfection, an effortless grace that they fear could shatter under the weight of reality or the risk of rejection. Instead of expressing their feelings, they remain observers, holding on to an idealized version of you, untouchable and flawless. It's not indifference. It's hesitation, fueled by the fear of vulnerability and the insecurity of being fully seen. Their admiration exists in every stolen glance, every small moment where your light feels too overwhelming for them to step closer. And while it might seem flattering, it's important to remember that their silence is a reflection of their own spiritual journey, a process of learning to overcome fear and embrace authenticity. Think about this. Have you ever noticed someone in your life, perhaps a colleague, a neighbor, or even an acquaintance whose admiration felt like an unspoken language? Maybe they lingered a little longer during conversations, or their eyes lit up when you spoke. Yet despite the signs, they never said a word. What would happen if you shifted your focus from questioning their silence to reflecting on your energy? The self-love and confidence you radiate have likely been cultivated through your own spiritual growth, making you an inspiring force in their lives. Consider the story of Maya, a graphic designer who often felt a quiet but undeniable admiration from her peers. She would catch them watching her work with a sense of awe, but never stepping forward to say anything. It wasn't until one of them confided that they admired not just her talent, but the way she carried herself with resilience and joy, that she realized her energy was inspiring others. Her confidence had made them see her as untouchable, but it was her humility and willingness to connect that helped bridge the gap. Secret admiration isn't about your flaws or their lack of care. It's about the light you carry being so bright, it forces others to confront their own shadows. Your magnetism, built on self-love and spirituality, creates a sense of both attraction and intimidation. The lesson here is to keep owning your space unapologetically, while remembering that admiration in the shadows often signals a journey others are on to find the courage to step into their own light. How might you use your spiritual growth to help others find their voice? Perhaps the next time you sense unspoken admiration, you can soften the boundaries, creating an invitation for genuine connection. In the end, true spiritual growth isn't just about your journey. It's about how your light helps others find their path as well. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others who might need these great values. Let's continue this conversation and go deeper into what these values really mean. 3. Your self-love feels unreachable. Your self-love is a force of nature, quietly but powerfully radiant, and for your secret admirers, it can feel almost untouchable. It's not the loud, attention-seeking kind of love, but the steady, grounded type that silently commands respect. This type of self-love, rooted in spiritual wisdom, shines as an unshakable light, illuminating everything around you while holding firm to its own source. As Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us." That within is where your strength resides, and it's what makes you so magnetic and, yes, intimidating. Think about it. When someone truly loves themselves, they project a sense of completeness that can make others question their own stability. For your admirers, your presence becomes a mirror, reflecting not just your strength, but also the insecurities they may be grappling with. Have you ever noticed how people sometimes shy away, even when their admiration for you is obvious? It's not because they don't care. It's because they're unsure if they can match the energy of someone who carries their worth so effortlessly. You've likely cultivated an independence that doesn't seek validation from others. That confidence is like walking on water in a world where so many are still figuring out how to swim. Can you imagine how intimidating that might feel to someone who's still struggling to find their footing? They see you as a beacon of self-sufficiency and peace, but they might question what they could possibly offer you. Would their presence disrupt the balance you've worked so hard to build, or would it fit seamlessly into your world? Their hesitation often has little to do with you personally, and everything to do with how your self-love challenges their own self-perception. Your admirers may stand at a distance, drawn to your light, but unsure how to approach without being consumed by their doubts. Your self-love isn't just a gift to yourself. It's a beacon for those around you, whether they're prepared to approach it or not. As Maya Angelou beautifully put it, your crown has been bought and paid for. Put it on your head and wear it. By embracing your own light and allowing it to shine unapologetically, you encourage others to seek their own. And perhaps, just perhaps, those admirers watching from afar will find the courage to step forward, inspired not just by your magnetism, but by the spiritual wisdom and peace that emanate from your being. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. What is your perspective on the importance of this value? Share your insights, and let's continue this conversation. 4. You're a mirror, not a muse. You are not merely an object of admiration. You are a spiritual mirror, reflecting both the dreams and insecurities of those drawn to your energy. For secret admirers, the magnetism they feel isn't just about your outward qualities. It's about the spiritual awakening you ignite within them. You don't just attract people, you reveal their hidden depths. Your confidence shines a light on their self-doubt, and your self-love underscores the ways they struggle to love themselves. It's as if your presence creates a silent conversation between who they are and who they aspire to be. This dynamic can be both inspiring and intimidating, as it forces them to confront truths about themselves they may not be ready to accept. Your spiritual energy isn't passive, it's transformative. Being in your orbit feels like a challenge to rise higher, to embody the potential they see in you. Yet, this is where things become complex. While your energy invites admiration, it also demands reflection, and for many, that reflection is difficult to face. Imagine standing in front of a mirror that doesn't just show your exterior, but lays bare your soul. That's what you are to them, a reflection of both their untapped potential and the inner struggles they might prefer to avoid. It's not just your magnetism that keeps them captivated. It's the awakening you bring to their lives, a spiritual nudge toward growth that feels both enlightening and overwhelming. For these admirers, being near you is like standing at the edge of transformation. Your authenticity, your unapologetic self-love, and your refusal to shrink your light create a powerful contrast to their inner doubts. In modern life, where people often hide behind curated images and superficial validation, your grounded confidence becomes a rare and magnetic force. But this very strength can also feel intimidating. Approaching you means confronting parts of themselves they may have buried, parts they aren't sure how to face. Their hesitation is not a rejection of you, but a fear of stepping into the reflection. You offer a reflection that reveals both their unhealed wounds and their highest possibilities. Yet this is your spiritual gift, a light that not only illuminates but awakens. You challenge others not to idolize you from afar, but to see what your presence reveals about their own spiritual journey. The admiration you receive is a testament to the growth you inspire, even if it often comes from a safe distance. The truth is, you represent not only who they aspire to be, but also the awakening they are on the verge of experiencing. This role is not always easy to bear, but it is a profound part of your spiritual path. By standing in your truth and embodying self-love, you not only attract others, but also hold up a mirror to their souls, urging them to awaken to their own greatness. So embrace this role fully, knowing that your light is both a gift and a guide for those who are ready to enter their own spiritual awakening. Comment below, "I am the chosen one," and let's journey together. 5. They fear fading in your light. Some people admire you in secret, not because they don't value you, but because they fear losing themselves in the glow of your presence. Your magnetism is undeniable, a force of nature that captivates those around you and fills every space you inhabit with light. But for your secret admirers, standing in that light feels like standing too close to the sun, where the warmth is comforting, yet the intensity is almost overwhelming. They don't just see your energy, they feel it. It's an all-encompassing presence that seems to command attention effortlessly, and that can be intimidating for those who are unsure of their own place in the world. For many, the hesitation to step closer stems not just from the fear of rejection, but from the fear of losing their identity. They might look at the way you carry yourself with confidence, the ease with which you navigate life, and the way you inspire others, and think, "What do I have to offer next to someone so radiant?" It's not that they don't want to know you. They're afraid of being overshadowed. In their minds, entering your orbit might mean becoming a side character in the story where you're the lead, someone whose individuality fades into the background of your brilliance. This kind of fear is deeply tied to their own insecurities. It's the voice in their head asking, "Am I enough?" When they see your spiritual growth and self-love shining through, they might wonder if they could ever measure up. Instead of seeing your light as something that could illuminate their own path, they perceive it as something that could expose their vulnerabilities. But here's the truth. Your light doesn't diminish others. It invites them to shine brighter. Let me share a story that might resonate. A young artist once admired a famous musician from afar, amazed by the way they lit up every stage they stepped onto. The artist's admiration grew, but so did their fear. How could I possibly perform next to someone so talented, they thought. But one day the musician noticed them and offered encouragement. "Your art doesn't need to compete with mine," the musician said. "We can inspire each other to create something even greater." That moment transformed the artist's perspective, and they realized that stepping into the spotlight with someone else doesn't mean losing your own. It means amplifying your gifts in a way you never thought possible. So, let me ask you this. How often do you let the fear of overshadowing or being overshadowed dictate your relationships or actions? Could it be that those who admire you secretly are waiting for an invitation to embrace their own brilliance? Remember, spirituality teaches us that our growth is not about dimming anyone else's light, but about encouraging others to rise with us. Your magnetism and self-love aren't meant to intimidate. They're meant to inspire. By embracing your own light, you give others permission to do the same. So, the next time you sense someone holding back, extend a hand. Show them that the brightest lights don't overshadow them and illuminate the way for everyone around them. Let your presence be a reminder that spiritual growth is a journey we take together, helping each other shine in ways that transform our lives and the world around us. If this message speaks to you, take it a step further and share it with someone who might need this reminder. Together, we can build connections rooted in honesty and respect. 6. Their silence isn't just shyness, it's strategy. Imagine this. Someone out there admires you so deeply that their silence isn't a sign of indifference. It's their carefully crafted strategy. Their quietness isn't just shyness or fear of rejection. It's a deliberate act of preparation, a way to honor the magnitude of your presence. They see you not just as someone living life, but as someone who commands it with grace and confidence, someone who radiates spiritual wisdom in a way that's almost magnetic. And this magnetism, combined with the self-love you exude, isn't just attractive, it's intimidating. They know stepping into your world isn't something they can do casually or lightly. It feels to them like entering sacred ground. Their admiration runs deep, and with it comes an internal dialogue filled with questions they dare not voice aloud. They wonder, what could I possibly offer someone like this? How can I measure up to their brilliance and self-assuredness? You see, for them, admiration isn't just about liking you. It's about feeling worthy of your attention. They question if they could ever match your energy or contribute something meaningful to your life. This isn't mere nervousness. It's a kind of soul-level negotiation, where they weigh their strengths against the awe they feel for you and often come up feeling inadequate. Think about that for a moment. Their silence isn't empty. It's filled with thoughts, plans, and unspoken words they rehearse in their minds. They imagine how they'd approach you, the perfect words they'd say, the confidence they'd need to mirror yours. And yet, when they hold up their imagined selves against the real you, someone so magnetic and complete, they hesitate. They fear their best might not be good enough, and in that hesitation, they often lose the courage to even try. Their admiration, ironically, becomes the very reason they stay silent. As Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Your secret admirers know this too well. They see your inner strength and refuse to risk approaching you with anything less than their absolute best. But in trying so hard to be perfect, they forget that authenticity is what truly resonates. Here's the question for you. Have you ever sensed someone's admiration in their silence? What do you think it says about them, or even about you? Perhaps their quiet admiration is the truest testament to the impact of your self-love and spiritual wisdom. Their hesitation isn't rejection, it's respect. And in their silence, they may reveal more than they ever could with words. Could it be that their strategy is not about staying hidden, but about finding the right moment to honor the light they see in you? Maybe the next time you feel someone lingering in your orbit, their quiet presence might be worth noticing. Share your story, or simply type, "I am growing," if you're committed to using every moment to improve yourself. Let's keep this conversation going. I can't wait to hear your insights. 7. You're an unwritten puzzle. There's an undeniable magnetism in being an enigma, and you embody that in ways others find captivating and unforgettable. You're not just a book with a few pages missing. You're an unwritten puzzle, a story still in progress, layered with complexities that refuse to conform to anyone's expectations. This spiritual allure, this quiet command of mystery, is a core aspect of what draws people toward you. Your ability to hold back, to let others wonder, creates an irresistible tension, a balance of intrigue and admiration that keeps admirers guessing. This is where spiritual awakening ties into your energy. It's not about withholding for the sake of secrecy. It's about knowing yourself so deeply that your self-love radiates without needing validation from others. Your secret admirers are not just captivated by what they see, they're enthralled by what they don't. They notice your calm confidence, your steady gaze, and the way you carry yourself, as if you know truths they can only dream of understanding. This energy resonates on a spiritual level, stirring something within them they can't quite put into words. They analyze every word you speak, every subtle action, hoping to piece together the puzzle of who you are. Yet each time they think they've figured you out, a new layer of complexity emerges, keeping the chase alive. It's as if you're a flame, mesmerizing in its warmth and light, yet just out of reach. This constant curiosity isn't just a game for your admirers, it's addictive. Your spiritual depth makes them reflect on their own lives, their own insecurities, and their own untapped potential. But as they draw closer, they face an inner conflict. They wonder, what if the truths you hold are too profound for them to grasp? What if you're not the idealized version they've imagined, but something even more complex and raw? The closer they get to understanding you, the more they confront their fears, and this makes your presence a spiritual catalyst for their growth. In today's world, where oversharing has become the norm, your restraint is a refreshing anomaly. Your ability to hold space for mystery shows a profound level of self-love and inner peace. It's a reminder that not everything valuable needs to be visible to the naked eye. You teach others that true spiritual awakening isn't about proving your worth to the world. It's about living authentically and letting your energy speak for itself. For those who find themselves drawn to you, your mystery serves as both an invitation and a challenge to look inward, to reflect on the pieces of themselves they've been too afraid to confront. So, embrace this energy. Continue to be unapologetically complex, spiritually grounded and self-assured. The right people will not only admire your depth, but also rise to meet it. In a world desperate for authenticity, your unwritten puzzle is a masterpiece that reminds others of the beauty of the unknown and the limitless potential of spiritual growth. Your presence isn't just magnetic, it's transformative. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. What is your perspective on the importance of this value? Share your insights, and let's continue this conversation. 8. Your energy changes rooms, not conversations. There's a unique, magnetic energy about you that doesn't rely on words to make an impact. It's your essence, your presence, your spiritual growth radiating through every room you enter. When you walk in, the atmosphere shifts, not because of what you say, but because of who you are. Your quiet confidence, grounded self-love, and unshakable sense of identity draw people in without effort. It's the kind of energy that transforms spaces, commanding attention without demanding it, leaving a ripple effect that lingers long after you've moved on. People don't just notice you, they feel you. And for your secret admirers, this isn't just intriguing, it's downright intimidating. Your presence stirs something profound in others. It acts as a mirror, reflecting their own insecurities and amplifying their inner dialogue. When someone who secretly admires you is in your orbit, it's not just about noticing how remarkable you are. It's about how they feel when they're near you. They become hyper-aware of themselves, overthinking their posture, tone of voice, and every word they want to say. They're not just captivated by you, they're grappling with their desire to rise to the level of your energy, a challenge that feels daunting yet irresistible. The irony, of course, is that you're not expecting them to perform or prove themselves. Your power lies in simply being. Let me tell you a story about a woman named Maya. She worked in a bustling corporate office, known not for her words in meetings, but for the energy she brought into the room. Colleagues couldn't quite put their finger on it. She wasn't loud, nor did she go out of her way to draw attention, but the moment she arrived, conversations became more focused, the energy more vibrant. Unbeknownst to Maya, her quiet self-assurance had captured the admiration of a co-worker, Tom. He'd often rehearse his words before speaking to her, worried that he wouldn't measure up to the calm, composed aura she exuded. What Tom didn't realize was that Maya appreciated authenticity over perfection. His effort to impress her wasn't necessary. It was his genuine self that would resonate most with her. This is the power of energy rooted in spirituality and self-awareness. It doesn't just make you noticeable, it makes you unforgettable. But here's the lesson. Your energy is a gift, not just for you, but for those around you. It's a reminder that true magnetism comes from alignment with your authentic self, not from trying to meet anyone else's expectations. For those who find your presence overwhelming, it's a call for them to grow spiritually, to look inward and face their own insecurities. So, reflect on this. How do you carry yourself when you enter a room? Are you aware of the transformative energy you bring, and are you using it to inspire others rather than intimidate them? Remember, the weight of your presence isn't about what you say, it's about how you make others feel. Embrace this power with grace, and let your energy continue to elevate not only yourself, but those fortunate enough to share a space with you. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others. 9. You're a catalyst, not a comfort zone. You're not just someone people admire, you're a force of nature, a catalyst for change, and that's exactly why you're so magnetic. Your energy, rooted in authenticity and self-love, naturally challenges the world around you. Without even trying, you shine a light on the comfort zones people have built for themselves. As Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path, and leave a trail." You, my friend, are that trailblazer, inspiring others to rethink their paths simply by existing as your true self. But let's dig deeper. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to admire you from the shadows? That's because being near you isn't just an act of admiration. It's a confrontation with their own unfulfilled potential. Your very presence can feel like a mirror reflecting back the parts of their lives they've been avoiding, the dreams they've shelved, the risks they've been too afraid to take, or the mediocrity they've grown comfortable with. And while some are inspired to rise to the challenge, others find it overwhelming. Why? Because stepping into growth means leaving behind what feels safe. Think about it. When was the last time you faced a fear or took a leap of faith? How did it feel? Scary, yes, but also transformative. Your secret admirers sense this about you, even if they can't articulate it. They're drawn to your magnetism and the spiritual wisdom you embody, yet they hesitate to approach because they know deep down that being in your orbit will require change. And change, as we all know, isn't easy. It means stepping out of their familiar routines and confronting fears they've tucked away. It's not about you. It's about them and their readiness, or lack thereof, to evolve. As Maya Angelou beautifully put it, we delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty. Your role as a catalyst can be both a blessing and a burden. On one hand, you have the power to inspire incredible growth in others. On the other hand, that power can intimidate those who aren't ready to face their own transformation. So here's a question to ponder. Are you willing to let go of the need to be understood or embraced by everyone, knowing that your purpose is to ignite change, even if it means some people will only admire you from afar? Remember, you are not here to fit into anyone's comfort zone. You are here to challenge norms, to inspire growth, and to pave the way for transformation. It's a role that few are brave enough to take on, but you do it with ease by being yourself. And while some may be afraid to take that leap with you, your spiritual wisdom and magnetic energy will always attract those willing to take the challenge. Continue to be the catalyst you were born to be, because the world needs your light, even when some can only see from the shadows. Comment below, "I choose to shine," and let's continue this journey together. Ten. Admirers are often hidden critics. True admiration is a powerful thing, but it often comes with layers that are not immediately visible. Secret admirers, especially those drawn to your confidence and magnetism, may be fighting an inner battle that has more to do with their self-perception than with your presence. Beneath the admiration, there can exist a subtle thread of envy, a silent acknowledgement of what they see in you, but believe they lack in themselves. This is where the spiritual awakening of understanding human dynamics begins. Recognizing that the energy people project onto you is often a reflection of their internal struggles. When they admire your confidence, self-sufficiency, or your natural ability to draw attention, it isn't just flattery, it's also a mirror revealing their feelings of inadequacy. These feelings can be intimidating because they make people confront parts of themselves they've been avoiding. Your spiritual energy serves as a catalyst for this internal conflict, forcing them to grapple with their own doubts and insecurities. Their silence isn't just about shyness, it's a protective mechanism. Admitting envy is uncomfortable and leaves one feeling vulnerable. So many choose to remain hidden, silently critiquing themselves as much as they critique you. Their admiration becomes a double-edged sword, an awe that inspires, but also unsettles. Your presence reminds them of what they wish they could embody, whether it's your unwavering self-assurance or your ability to thrive authentically in the world. This dynamic reveals an important spiritual truth. The power you hold over others isn't about control, but about reflection. You are a yardstick they measure themselves against, and their unspoken critique highlights just how much influence your energy wields. This is not your burden to bear, but a testament to the transformative power of self-love and the magnetic aura that comes with spiritual awakening. In modern life, where comparison has been amplified by social media and societal pressures, this dynamic is more common than ever. As you grow in self-awareness and confidence, you will attract both admiration and envy. The key is not to let their hidden struggles define your journey. Instead, use this understanding to deepen your compassion. Recognize that your light might make others uncomfortable, not because it's too bright, but because it shines into the corners of their lives they have yet to illuminate. Maintain your spiritual practice, keep nurturing your self-love, and remember that your journey is about you, not about how others perceive it. When you embody this, you become not just a source of inspiration, but a beacon for others to start their own spiritual awakening, whether they realize it or not. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. What is your perspective on the importance of this value? Share your insights, and let's continue this conversation. (11) They study you like a blueprint. Your admirers don't just notice you in passing, they study you like a blueprint, carefully examining every move you make, every gesture you convey, and every decision that shapes your life. They are drawn to the way you carry yourself, exuding confidence and radiating self-love, as if you've discovered a secret formula for living authentically. To them, your presence is magnetic. It's not just something to admire, it's something they deeply yearn to understand and emulate. Your self-assuredness and ability to navigate life on your own terms make you more than an inspiration. They make you a living guide, a model for how they believe life could and should be lived. Yet, there's an underlying tension in this admiration. For them, drawing inspiration from someone as captivating as you is a delicate balancing act. They don't want to merely imitate you, but their desire to replicate your energy and spiritual growth often brings them to the edge of feeling like they're encroaching on your individuality. They admire the way you've harnessed your inner power, turning your journey of self-discovery into a beacon of light. But they fear that in attempting to follow your path, they might lose sight of their own unique identity. This struggle highlights an important truth. They aren't just captivated by who you are, they see in you the potential for their own transformation, and they grapple with how to unlock it authentically. Think about the friend who always seems fascinated by your choices, whether it's the way you prioritize self-care, the way you handle challenges with grace, or even the seemingly small rituals you bring into your day. Perhaps they've complimented your ability to stay grounded, saying, "You always seem so calm no matter what happens. How do you do it?" They're not just being kind, they're trying to uncover the keys to your self-mastery. Maybe you've noticed how they start adopting similar habits, from how you speak affirmations in the morning to how you set boundaries with people. They aren't trying to copy you maliciously. They're navigating the tricky space between admiration and imitation. The question they face, and one that might resonate with many, is how to take inspiration without overshadowing their own authenticity. This reflects a universal challenge in spiritual growth. How do we learn from others while staying true to ourselves? Are there ways we can draw wisdom and energy from those we admire without feeling like we're borrowing their light instead of igniting our own? These are questions worth pondering, both for the admirers and for you, the one admired. The lesson here is profound when people admire you so deeply. It's a reflection of the light you shine into the world. It's also a reminder to nurture humility and compassion, because not everyone knows how to harness that inspiration into personal growth. The admirer's hesitance to fully embrace their transformation is a testament to the impact you've had on their lives. Your journey serves as a living example of how self-love, resilience, and spiritual alignment can create a life of authenticity and fulfillment. But remember, your role isn't to provide all the answers. It's to inspire others to embark on their own journey. The message for them, and for all of us, is simple yet powerful. Learn from those who inspire you, but never forget that the greatest growth comes from discovering and embracing the unique light that is already within you. And if you feel inspired by this message, type "I trust the process" as a way to affirm your strength, patience, and commitment to growth. Let's grow together. 12. Their intimidation is a projection, not reality. The intimidation you evoke in others is rarely about what you've said, done, or how you carry yourself. Instead, it's a mirror reflecting something deeper within them. When you walk with self-love and authenticity, radiating confidence and owning your space, it creates a powerful contrast to the insecurities they may harbor. Your presence holds up a metaphorical mirror, showing them not just who you are, but what they wish they could become. This stark reflection can be overwhelming for those who haven't yet embraced their own self-worth or spiritual wisdom. As Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And by being yourself, you inspire both admiration and discomfort in others, depending on where they are in their journey." Think about it: when you live authentically, you naturally project a sense of freedom and self-acceptance. That magnetism feels effortless, almost as though you've unlocked a secret to life. But to someone still grappling with self-doubt, your light can feel blinding. They might see your strength and interpret it as unapproachability, not realizing that their feelings of intimidation are their own projections, born from a place of insecurity. Have you ever wondered why some people seem distant or hesitant around you, even when you've done nothing to create that distance? This is often because your confidence and authenticity highlight areas where they feel inadequate. And rather than confronting those feelings, they might label you as intimidating. But here's the truth. Their perception of you as intimidating is actually a disguised form of admiration. It's easier for them to believe you're out of reach than to face the reality that their own fears are holding them back. Your authenticity isn't a weapon, it's a beacon. Yet, for those still struggling to find their footing, that light can feel more like a challenge than an inspiration. What they see in you is not just your power, but a reflection of the potential they haven't yet tapped into. As Carl Jung said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. This means their reaction to you is more about their internal struggles than anything you've done. So, how do you respond to this dynamic? Do you dim your light to make others feel more comfortable? Or do you continue to shine brightly, knowing that your self-love might be the spark someone needs to begin their own journey of growth? The answer lies in staying true to yourself. Remember, your magnetism and authenticity aren't intimidating, they're empowering. You're showing others what's possible when you embrace your spiritual wisdom and walk in alignment with your highest self. Take a moment to reflect. Who in your life has made you feel less than? And was it truly their actions? Or did they hold up a mirror to something you needed to confront within yourself? Now, think about the impact you have on others. Are you unintentionally holding up that mirror for someone else? By continuing to live authentically and embracing your self-worth, you become an example of what it looks like to live in truth, even if it challenges others to do the same. After all, as Marianne Williamson so beautifully said, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Let your power inspire others to embrace theirs, even if it feels intimidating at first. Thank you for exploring this fascinating topic with us today on Spiritual Wisdom. Remember, your self-love and inner power create a magnetic energy that naturally draws others toward you, even secret admirers who may feel too intimidated to reveal themselves. Embrace this truth as a reminder of your worth and uniqueness. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you notice how your energy impacts those around you? Share your experiences in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to help spread this empowering message and stay connected to content that uplifts your spirit. Keep shining your light, and we'll see you in the next video.